somebody who really can give some not only language but also just some perspective, Dad, I knew you were the right guy. I knew you the right guy. So I want to talk about this just briefly here, and I want to talk about this the prime equity clause, right? Shedeur Sanders has a prime equity clause in his contract with the Cleveland Browns, and as you see highlighted, it says it gives him a share of revenue from merchandise, sponsorships, and promotion tied to his name, image, and likeness. And I want to put a pause here really quick, and I want to say traditionally NIL was well not even really traditionally because like maybe the past 3 years, but NIL has been something that really has only applied to collegiate athletes, right? So this has been them being able to profit off their name, image, and likeness. However, Shedeur Sanders is no longer a collegiate athlete. Shedeur Sanders is in the NFL. And I'll just read the rest of this right here. It says this informative clause transforms him from a typical player into a business partner. Hello, allowing him to benefit directly from the commercial success of his personal brand. And it also gives him ownership of his personal media content and digital platforms. Attorney Fred Jones, talk to us, sir. What's your first reaction from hearing that information right there?
You don't get what you deserve, you get what you negotiate.
Mm.
You don't get what you deserve, you get what you negotiate. This prime equity clause is real. Um, it's the first time any rookie or veteran player has ever gotten an equity clause, a prime equity clause contract. I take my hats off to Mr. Sanders. But John, what we're seeing here is a manifestation of fatherhood.
Mm.
This is how valuable a father is in a son's life. A
Wow.
father sees further. A father sees farther down the road. And this is a tribute to someone who's been there, done that. Mr. Sanders, Deion, has been there, done that. He is prime time. Okay. And he has leveraged his name, image, and likeness. And he taught his son and he's teaching his sons and daughter to do the same thing. My impression of this is just phenomenal. And when you understand the money, you understand some of the meanness that comes with the money. If you're digging into my pocket and eating a piece of the pie, I'm not going to like you too much either, maybe. He's managed to get into the pocket of the ownership in a way that nobody else has. 4.6 million dollar contract,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're getting 14 million in commission. That's almost 3 or 4 times more than your annual contract. And
Wow.
you getting that on a commission from your name, image, and likeness. That is incredible. This just goes back to what you said from the very beginning. Everybody needs legal counsel. And when you got good legal counsel, you got good leverage. Someone I was on a call the other day, and a guy was talking about his brand and his book and his business, and he had all these big ideas. And I said, "Well, you need to speak to this attorney." And he's like, "Man, I'm not sure if I can afford this person." I quickly say, you can't afford not to afford this attorney.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
in this particular case, hats off to this young man, John. This is unheard of.
Unheard of. And then even to your point, I want to go back and talk a little bit about Dion, aka Coach Prime, aka Prime Time. It's just the fact that 2 years ago, when he first stepped foot on Jackson State's campus, I saw in real time what it looked like to really leverage because he was doing things that coaches weren't even doing. The kids didn't even have names on the back of their jerseys, Dad. He had to advocate for that, but what did he do? He leveraged his relationships. He leveraged his name, image, and likeness. Then he had people begin to sponsor the jerseys. Then he had people begin to put money and give money towards the field. And then getting he was even getting a cut of ticket sales at Jackson State University. Why? Because people were coming to see him. He was a major part of that. But now seeing this, well, hold on, I'm not done talking about Coach Prime just yet. Dad, he just had reconstructive surgery on his bladder. He said, "I depend on Depends." Who does he have a new partnership with? Depends. Hello, he has a protein drink and with Redcon, I believe is the company, and he has blenders with the shades. He is what NIL looks like in real time. He set the precedent for what it looks like for media because his other son Bucky, aka Deion Sanders Jr., his son owns the media company that's shooting all of the footage for the Colorado Buffaloes football program. When he steps up in press conferences, what did he say? He said, "Yeah, my son Junior put together a phenomenal piece. He never left by my side. He's gonna put it up on his YouTube channel. Y'all can go see that later when he puts it out." You want to talk about leveraging a family business at the highest level? Dad, I see you look like you want to say something. What you got, Dad? Talk to me.
Well, that's just leveraging what you've learned. When you leverage what you can learn, you take the limits off how much you can earn. They are leveraging everything that they know.
Man,
And Mr. Sanders is just a good businessman.
this is true. This is true. Also, KFC. The whole family, Dad, is in the commercials. The whole
Really?
family. The whole what? The whole family. They just did a rollout for KFC to where Shedeur was in Cleveland at KFC handing out meals. Shiloh was out in Tampa Bay handing out meals, signing jerseys. Uh, the whole family was is getting the benefit from this in real time. Nike hit Dion has come out with his line, of course, of his shoes, which were iconic then. Then he came back as coaches, continue to be iconic. They named the shoe after his mother. Come on, Dad. Come on, come on. Okay. Anyway, I want to hit on a little bit more of this, just breaking it down a little bit more in depth. So it says revenue sharing. So Sanders receives a percentage of revenue generated from the merchandise, like jerseys, which now, mind you, his jersey, if not number one, it's inching close to the number one selling jersey in the NFL. Hello,
200,
somebody.
$250 million in
250.
sales.
Oh wow.
And he
Oh
gets a
wow.
percentage of that.
Hadn't even stepped foot on the season field yet, but he is going to be the starting quarterback for their first preseason game. Okay, okay. Also, it says ownership of personal content. He retains full ownership of his personal media content, including social media platforms, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, and any docu-series or media projects he develops. That one right there speaks volumes to me, especially learning what I'm learning about media now, learning how advertisement works through media now. Dad, game changing. Game changing. Behind the scenes content rights. Even his half brother Deion Sanders Jr. is allowed to produce behind the scenes content under a unique arrangement.
A rising tide lifts all ships. A
My.
rising tide lifts all ships. You're coming up together. He's showing us what we can do as a family, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
often we say we grew up in a time where people say, "Well, you can't do business with family. Don't do business with family." It's so many things we are told and taught that are just not right. This family is breaking a whole lot of traditions and breaking a whole lot of rules that people have placed on us. So
That,
I'm excited for them and glad to see these things happen for this family.
It says investment opportunities. The clause allows him to co-invest in future team affiliated media projects.
Mhm.
To co-invest in future team affiliated Media projects. Wow. 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 The impact, I just want to hit down on the impact real quick. The impact of the clause. The prime equity clause allows Sanders to potentially earn significantly more than a standard rookie contract, especially with the high sales of his rookie jersey, which you mentioned. 250 million, you said, in
That's
sales?
correct.
250 million in sales. Brand building. It empowers him to build his personal brand and control his narrative in the NFL.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I've heard it said, Dad, that the NFL stands for not for long. And if this is standing not for long, the ownership rights that he is securing and the potential of these contracts, this is complete next level. Redefine a rookie contract. The clause is seen as a groundbreaking move, potentially reshaping how athletes negotiate their contracts in the future. And the NFL impact, the clause has some discussion and debate within the NFL, with some seeing it as a threat to the traditional contract model.
Well, it is a threat. Anytime you do something different outside of the norm, then you have just set a new pattern and you've opened up something about what's possible. We don't know what's possible until somebody do it.
Mm,
And when we see someone else do it, then the person coming along behind are going to want to do it. And it just goes from there. So that's what we're looking at. And then the NFL is a monopoly. You
mm-hmm,
only got 32, 33 teams or so and owners that own this monopoly. And what we've seen here is that it's so unfair on the top end,
mm-hmm,
unfair to the players, unfair to those who are connected to it. In certain ways, I say it's unfair. The law will not come to the aid of someone who enters a bad bargain. So if you want to play the game, be a part of the game, even though you might think it's unfair, you agree to it. Therefore, that makes it a deal. Okay, but we know that this thing is top heavy, and you don't see coaches that are representative of the players that are playing the game. And so the only way that this game can be changed, the only way that the players can leverage their strength is through NIL, name, image, and likeness. And what he's doing here is showing the whole league how to change the rules from the ground up, from the ground up. And I'm gonna tell you, this is exciting.
this is
And
very
it's
exciting.
disturbing. It's exciting and it's disturbing. That's why that image that you put up there of Mr. Goodell looking like this, they were caught off guard like a deer caught in headlights
My.
because these clauses sometimes go overlooked by the attorneys on the other side.
Oh, once again, this is why you need quality legal counsel. Quality legal counsel, not some Joe Schmo, Joe Blow, Joe Mo. You need quality legal counsel. And lastly, Dad, I want to hit on this.
Yeah.
There's no current NFL player who holds equity in the NFL team they play for. And the reason why I want to say that is because Caleb Williams, the quarterback for the Chicago Bears, that was one of the things that he shared that he wanted to that he was looking to secure in a contract. But I don't think that went over anybody's head. They're like, no, 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 no. That's not gonna fly. However, there's no current NFL players that hold equity for the team that they play for, but there are individuals like Patrick Mahomes who has expressed that he has expressed that his long term desire is to hold a minority share after retirement, but not the NFL that he holds ownership in. But we've seen him and other athletes begin to secure ownership stake with MLS teams, baseball teams, different things like that. But individuals like Tom Brady has an ownership stake with the Los Angeles Raiders. However, that's not while he's been playing. That's just been post career. So these are things to consider. This is, like you said, this is an exciting time, but this is also a time to where we need to know what we're talking about. You need to have your information. You need to have your resources. You need to have your legal counsel so that you can have these conversations with them behind closed doors. And then when you go out and you're creating and bringing forth a united front, so that you can begin to lock these in for your legacy, for your family, for your career. Because, Dad, at the end of the day, you don't get what you earn, you get what you negotiate. You get what you
True.
negotiate.
True. Fact.
All
Fact.
right. All right.
Fact.
All right. So it's 7:01. We're 1 minute after the hour. As always, appreciate attorney Fred Jones, aka my father, coming on, joining us here on the panel. And family, just like what we talked about here today, and we talked about these various opportunities to where legal counsel is very, very essential and very important. If you would like to seek out legal counsel with attorney Fred Jones, then go to fredjoneslaw.com. All right, fredjoneslaw.com. Want to know how much your case is worth? Go to fredjoneslaw.com. Dad, thank you for joining us here on the program. As always, it's a pleasure to have you here and to do life with you, to do life the right way, to do life the right way and be in community with you. It really means a lot. I don't take it for granted at all.
Same here, and I'm honored to be here, and I wouldn't have it no other way. Thank you for this opportunity today.
All right, there we go. There we go. Family, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this thing up. Go ahead and get out of here. Man, that was exciting to be able to close out the show, talking about the prime equity clause and seeing what that looks like and what that means. But at the end of the day, equity. Equity, 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 equity. So understanding your value and then negotiating for it. And like we saw with Shedeur Sanders, a lot of people had many things to say about the contract that he signed for his rookie contract. He could have got 50 million more. He should have been this. He deserved this. He deserved that. He didn't get that on the front end, but he wasn't mad. He wasn't upset, or at least he didn't show it. But he worked it out on the back end to where now he's probably going to benefit better than a lot of other players. So family, understand what your worth is, know what your worth is, and then fight tooth and nail to make sure you get it one way or the other. Family, this is Speak Your Success in the Morning. We're live right here every Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. Central Standard to 7 a.m. Central Standard. So always make sure that you tap in with us so you don't miss out on any of the content, okay? So subscribe to Speak Your Success Media on YouTube, and that way you will get this content. Or you can listen to us on your streaming providers like Spotify, Apple, and whatever you get your podcast, okay? So family, we're going to get out of here, but remember, all right? Speak your success, believe in your greatness, and continue to create the life and business of your dreams. Why would you and why should you live any other